Hello all.
Happy
Hello.
New Year.
Happy New Year to all. How are you? Blimey, Gary, it's been how long has it been since we've done a live?
I have no idea. I feel very guilty, don't you?
I know.
I've missed everybody.
All of last week. We didn't do a live over Christmas. Sorry.
We've had some good parties though.
It was family time. We had some good parties.
It was.
And then
it was family time.
And now it's Thursday because we couldn't do Tuesday because obviously that was New Year's Eve. And yeah, we've just been doing family stuff. Family stuff. Why does that feel that I am the wrong way around? Am I the wrong way around?
No, it reads right to me.
Does it?
Yeah. Yeah, it reads right to me. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say hello to people. Right, we've got Garvin Rants. Have you noticed it's a slightly different? It looks a little bit different. I quite like it.
Yeah, the StreamYard have changed it a bit, haven't they?
Well, and I had a little play with all the banners. Anyway, Garvin Ranch, hello from Wisconsin. Any chance we could go over the difference between bruising and historic inflammation spots and go over Elaine Colcorn's post from several days ago with the x-rays? We're not going over people's posts unless they come onto a live. That's how we're going to do it. So if you want to go over people's posts on the Phoenix group, you've got to comment in their thing and say, look, they're going to do a live. I'm going to ask them to cover yours on the live, but they need to know that we go live on YouTube because we don't want anybody getting worried that they're going to be sharing stuff that they don't really want to. So yes, right. So go and put a comment on her post and have a look. I'm sure I'm the other way around. I feel weird. Uta says, hi, Happy New Year to all of you all over the world from Germany. Hello.
Hiya.
Vicky Ware's here. Good morning, everyone from Australia. Wishing everyone a wonderful 2025. And you too, Vicky.
Right back at you, Vicky.
Right back at you. Stella's here. Good morning, Vicky. 3:30 a.m. here. I hope I don't fall asleep. Oh, my God.
That's dedication.
It's just, honestly.
That's
P.S.
silly.
is, I know. Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Stella, turn the volume high. We will wake you up. Gail says, good afternoon from Minnesota. Yes, bruising versus historic inflammation. Okay, Gary, remember that. We'll have a chat about that in a moment.
Okay.
Carol Colbert's here. Morning from Canberra. Good morning, Fiona Francis. Hello from cold, snowy Canada. Happy New Year, everyone.
Hi, Fiona.
Happy New Year. Viv Avery, good morning from Rotorua. New Zealand.
I think it's Rotorua. I think it's the way, because my cousin lives there, I think.
Good to be back. Here we go. 2025. Dawn Lim, hello again. Hello.
Hi, Dawn.
Georgie's here. Happy New Year, everyone. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you too.
Love to see
Stella
you too,
says,
Georgie.
Pia, I'm still awake, but good thinking. Hello. Stay awake. Stay awake. Angie Medler's here. Hi.
Hi, Angie.
Melanie says, hello, everyone from Pennsylvania, USA. Happy New Year. Glad to be back with the lives I was having withdrawals. Yeah. And how mad are we, or me, that I decided that I was going to start the mini challenges again, and we'll see. Oh God, I've already failed, Gary, because I've said
would this be the 10-minute, 15-minute maximum?
15 minutes, and they're already 20 minutes.
What did we say?
I know, right?
It's all right.
Anyway,
it's practice, and they're brilliant, aren't they? They're good.
I'll get better.
Yes, it's a challenge. It wouldn't be a challenge if it was easy.
It's just all these lovely people that tune in, and I want to say hello to them, and that's what takes up some of the time. But I want to say hi and give them a shout out. And anyway, I'll get better. I'll try and hone them down to 15 minutes. I promise. Ulrika says, hello, first long live for me. Thank you for all the precious information I already found in the group and for those to come. You're welcome. Becky Bragg's here. Happy New Year all. Janine Phipps is here. Hello from deepest Derbyshire and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Jeanette Desire, hi and Happy New Year, everyone. Isn't it so different to what it was like last year when people were coming into the group and the group was only small, but it was growing quickly? and nobody really knew everybody, and we all know each other now. It's so lovely.
Well, this time last year, it had actually only been running 2.5 days.
It had only been running 2.5
days.
It had, my God.
Because it started in the afternoon of the 31st of December. That's when we started it.
Blimmin' heck. A year we've been running this.
A year. Awesome.
Amazing. Claire Collins is here. Happy New Year, everyone.
Hiya.
So good to have the lives back. It's good to be back. Okay, so shall we try to guess the time the team will be here? Start at 9:08. Oh, God, it started again. Good afternoon from Ontario, says Anne. Good to see you. Aston's here.
Hi,
First
Anne.
big live of the new year. Hi, all. Hi.
Hi, Aston.
Ramona says, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Deanna's here. Happy New Year. Happy from Washington State. I think she means Washington State. Heather Swithenbanks here. Happy New Year, everyone, from a cold East Midlands. Ooh,
Hi, Heather.
It's been chucking it down and cold here as well. Viv Avery says, don't feel sorry. You both deserve all the time you took, and I'm grateful you are here. We just needed to eat chocolate, drink wine, watch TV.
Get fat so we can have a New Year's resolution to be healthier.
Absolutely. Did everybody see the us in our garb for our fancy dress party?
The fancy dress?
Oh my God! Shall we show some of the photos? Oh my God!
You took the biscuit. You did. You took it.
Oh no!
Your outfit was amazing, but I have to say Georgia was pretty snazzy too.
Absolutely.
And then Asha, oh my God, Asha, well, she couldn't even sit down, could she?
She couldn't sit down. Hang on, here we go. Look, here's some of our.
Oh God, I look happy.
look at Rachel. Oh, the costumes were out of this world. Look at these two. Look at these two. So this was Ursula from, oh my God, what was Ursula from? I can't remember. And this is
the Little Mermaid, wasn't it?
From the Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, yeah.
And this is Maleficent. This is Georgia, and this is Asha from. Oh my God, there's. Oh my, I look like some old drag queen. It's me and Tim. Me and Tim again. Just look at me. Look how old. Look, it's horrible. Oh, there's you. There's Asha dancing in the background with her mermaid outfit on. That's you laughing. That's the other. That's the Queen of Tarts. That's Dearest Bess and her dad Timmy. Look at them dancing. It's hilarious. And there's Asha. Asha in her Ursula outfit with Rach behind her dancing. Good grief. Oh, that's the back of you. Good grief. I think this is a video. I'm not sure if it'll play. Let's see.
We'll play musical statues. We're really adult about our news.
Look at this outrageous outfit.
That's Ash and Rach having a dance off.
Oh dear. Anyway, enough of that. But we had great fun. We had great fun. That's what we do when we're not doing our lives. Dress up as Disney villains. Karen's here. Hi everyone. Hi again.
Hi,
Ashley Kay's here. Hi from sunny, dry Arizona.
Just water.
Can't imagine. Just water. We've started. Catherine Brown, Charlie Brown. Hello. Now, Catherine has been, I think I can say this, and I'm sure she won't mind. Catherine all year, well, for not all year, but for as long as she was in the Phoenix group, did the challenges and started taking over the hoof care of her two horses, Woodstock and Oliver. I've got those names right, haven't I, Garry? I'm sure I have.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you have.
And was it Woodstock that had most of the problems? I can't remember, but they were having issues. And Catherine had gone through so many different methods of hoof care for years, was doing it herself, but following, the famous ones, the ones that you hear about online a lot, the methods, not following Mother Nature's constants. And then she came to us and we were a little bit bowled over with her because she had this dossier with all these photographs going back. This is an owner, like many of you, who was totally dedicated at trying to get it right, but was just getting it wrong because of going down the wrong routes and following the wrong information, until she finally found us and went, I get it now. I understand. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just let that toe grow down to the ground. So every trim, doesn't she? Every time she's coming around for a trim, she takes all the photographs quite quietly and then just beforehand pops them into a little messenger group. She doesn't want a massive amount of feedback. She just wants us to just have a quick look just to see if all's well, and then she goes away, and then she does the trim, and then she posts the post trim, and she's been doing amazingly well. And her horses are doing so well now. So Charlie, I want to always call you Charlie Brown. So Catherine, well done. Keep it going, girl. You're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. Just keep it going. Those horses are benefiting hugely from what you're doing. So well done. Jeanette's here. Gitte Desar, again, another lady, totally dedicated, another hoof hero, Phoenix warrior, dedicated to helping her horses and learn and be part of this fantastic journey that we're all part of. I'm roasting to death here. Where we are teaching owners from all over the world to take control of the horse's hoof care. It's fantastic. So well done to you. Well done to you. Vivian's here. Vivian Ulrich. Hello, everyone. Vivian from Germany. Rapture's here. Hello from Florida. I will be listening while trimming. Just watch those bars. Make sure you take the right amount of bar. Sarah Lou's here. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year to you all. Caroline Schillig from Portugal. Happy New Year.
Hi, Caroline.
Angela Garberg's here. Bonsoir. Wishing everybody a fabulous New Year. Alison Franks is here. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. You all looked amazing and fully immersed in the drama. Oh, God, we were. It's hilarious. And the makeup. We loved it.
I had a sore head the next day.
Oh, yes. There was quite a lot of booze drunk.
There was quite a lot of booze drunk.
Big New Year's resolutions have been happening. Karen Wingerat says, hi, everyone, from Berscheid, Germany. I don't know if I said that right on the mini live, but I probably said it wrong again. Dawn's here. What fun you've had. Love it. Yeah, we did. It was Woodstock that had founded. Right. Yeah. And she's turned these horses around. Woodstock she's turned Woodstock, and also Oliver. Still going to publish it. Well done. Well done. Thanks. I am so happy. It's been an amazing journey. And it was going. Yeah. And let me tell you guys, it was going royally wrong.
It was.
And the deeper and deeper she got, wasn't it, Garry? She changed direction, and then she'd go deeper again and change direction and go deeper, and always wanting to find an answer of why the horse was not quite sound and why I had issues. And then the trouble is we become really reactive. That's hoof care today.
It is. It's very reactive, and it's what can we do really quickly to get the quick fix? But it's not a quick fix.
What can we do to suddenly stop this lameness? You're not going to.
And that's why it's so important for the hoof care to be right. And then it does take a bit of time. Sometimes it's a little bit more time than others. It will depend on the history and the state of the feet. But when you get that foot into much better alignment, and it's a bit like you were saying on your mini live today, it's all about the function of the hoof. If everything is in its natural state and in alignment, the foot can function. But if there has been history, that function has also got to have time to heal.
Oh, yeah.
And that healing can take time and look weird.
Oh my God, can it look
But
weird?
that time is so important. And even in Charlie's, Catherine's,
We're always going to call
because
you
we're
Charlie.
all going to call you Charlie. There were setbacks like little abscesses and stuff like that. So it's almost that you go sort of like 2 or 3 stages forward and then there's a little bit of a back. But these things can happen. But if you know why they're happening, it's because there's necrotic tissue in there and that needs to heal and that needs to express. It's part of the healing process. Not going in and digging to make them appear more sound really quickly, because that could then be detrimental for the future. It's not that chasing pathology again, is it?
That's
It's
right.
not. It's recognizing it, but without chasing it.
And being proactive for the future instead of reactive because of the past. What you have to do is you have to accept that you're going on a journey and it's going to take time. And that's what we say to you all the time. And I think that's probably one of our biggest strengths of the Phoenix. The Phoenix way is telling you it's not going to happen now, guys. This is a journey. We've got to all go on together and we'll support you through it as much as we can. And Garry and I are very proud of you all for going on this journey, and for new people who are coming in, and for those that have been here a while. We're just so proud of you. This is for all of you. Makes me so emotional.
Isn't it interesting as well that we were talking about that we've been going just over a year on the Phoenix Way, and at the beginning, obviously we had case studies and so on, and we knew that what was going on. But now it's almost weekly, if not more, there is somebody willing to share their journey and the successes.
Yeah.
And we've got to take our hat off to these people for trusting us in the process, because a lot of them didn't know us from Adam.
No,
not really.
No. And I tell you what, for us, it's been a challenge.
Yes.
Because when you're out there as a hoof care professional and do what we do, and we've rehabbed many a poorly foot, you're there with the owner yourself. You're the one with the tools, us, picking up the foot. You just know exactly what needs to be done, what amount of realignment needs to be done with these high compacted heels, how much balance to do, how much frog that might need removing or not, how much bar needs to be removed. You just know. And when we are faced with not just one, not just two, but a whole host of people with problems, it created a massive challenge for us. We've already been we were already quite a way down the road of teaching online, because we teach our students online, and the majority of them go through watching lots of lessons, and then we meet them and we do things online with them, and then of course we meet in person. So we were already quite versed with that. But I don't think we were ready, were we? 2024. I don't think we were ready, Garry, for the amount of people that come into the Phoenix group wanting help. And I think there are some big memories. There's some big memorable sessions that we've had with people. And many times the hardest thing to do is to teach an owner who's got very little experience with tools, if any, who's probably been abandoned by their hoof care professional because they want to leave the toes alone. That's usually why they get abandoned. And because the hoof care professional just can't do what needs to be done because they don't understand. Taking that person who's hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles away from you, and trying to find a way of going, okay, I'm going to show you how to be my eyes now. It's really difficult. We've had some really big challenges. I feel that we've done incredibly well, and we have been paving the way for our students to do a similar thing. But that's been a challenge. That's not been easy. Somebody's never picked up a rasp and you're saying to them, right, not only have you got to pick up a rasp and you've got to put it to your horse's foot, you've got to do it this way. I mean, it's possible because we've been doing it, but that for me was something I when we started the Phoenix group last year, I don't think I had that in my head, and quite the number of people we were going to have to help.
I think also as well, when you're in that situation, when these horses are in very often dire straits and something needs to be done and it needs to be done now, it puts that undue pressure on those owners and us as instructors, because we've got to get that message across without enhancing that frustration on both parts, because wouldn't it be nice if we could just get beamed to be next door to that horse?
I just want to be beamed there.
Let me get in there.
Exactly.
Let me show you. Here you go. Get in there and have a go at this. And when you're with them in person, it's so much easier. When you're doing it online, like you say, it throws up a challenge, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
No, and we're known, aren't we, as the people who leave these very long toes, but people don't understand what that process is. They don't understand the balance part of that. Okay, that in fact at the front of the foot, or at the area in front of the frog, there's not enough foot because the toe has been removed. And so therefore was seen as that. And so many of those, including Catherine's, are horses with feet that have had their toes removed, but they get the heels down. The heels have been high, but they've not been stupidly high. The toe finally gets itself down to the ground. The hoof begins to sort itself out. You get that long toe. Eventually it starts to crack if there are any cracks in it. If there aren't, it just grows out, but usually because the horse has got poor quality foot. And the rest of the world goes nuts focusing in on the long toe and being worried about it. And we are interested in the heel, of course, and getting that horse comfortable. And seeing so many horses time after time after time after time that have these feet that curl up. So they're fine. They're fine. They just look horrific in these slippered feet. Now those, Garry and I have decided that this year we're going to do some group private sessions with some of our challenge students who are in that situation, not like with Catherine's or with many of the rehabs where the toe is making its way down to the ground pretty much, but it's usually Coke can ponies. It's usually ponies who have been in Coke can feet, those feet that are very, very upright, where when the heels are coming down, if they're not quite brought down all the way and it's not quite, the foot's not quite put where it needs to be from the start off, then what can happen is this toe can just start to curl up. And of course, it's not doing anything. It's not harming the horse. Everybody hates it and looks at it and think it's awful, but it doesn't harm the horse. So Garry and I are going to do some special sessions with some of those owners. And if you're watching, you know who you are. And we're going to help you navigate that next stage with those kind of feet. It's so important that you leave the toe alone in what we do, because you have to let it come down to the ground. But once it's come down to the ground or it's going north, it's not going down anymore, then those kind of feet need a little bit of extra care. If you obsess over the toe too early on, or at any point really, then it causes massive problems for horses. And I think we've proved it time and time again. They don't look very pleasant, but these horses do absolutely fine while they're rehabbing. with these long toes. I think we've proved it over and over and over again. They do not tear laminae. It is a myth. The science world got it wrong, and they got it wrong big time, blaming P3 rotation on the DDFT and all that tearing on the long toe. They got it wrong, and we've proved it. And if you've been in the Phoenix group long enough, you'll have seen that. So the challenges that have cropped up for us have been huge.
Many. Huge and many.
Because not only are we dealing with our students and getting those through serious, these are people who want to go on to be professional people out in the big wide world, do amazing work, help so many horses, so many owners. Not only are we guiding them through, and there's a lot of them. We've gone over 60 people have gone through this course in 2.5 years, which is staggering when you compare that to the amount of people that go through a usual course for hoof care in any which form, whatever. It's a staggering amount of people, and we're still mainly Garry and I. We have got a team behind us, and we have got people who are coming through now who are mentoring, etc. But it's been a massive challenge. And then on top of that, we've had the Phoenix group with all you lot and all these very difficult cases, which you don't see. We're working on behind the scenes a lot. Every week, lives, Zoom calls with these people every single week. I'm propping up Zoom. I think Garry and I are propping up Zoom. We're on it constantly. So we've been on a learning journey too. It's not just you. It's not just you. We have been learning how to get this information across to you in the right way, how to keep support going. And something else too was, I know that the world is a bit nasty out there. I didn't expect some of the things to happen like they did, such as people taking screenshots and taking it out of the group and sharing it on other groups and being quite malicious about it. That's another thing that I don't think that we prepared ourselves for, which maybe sounds a little bit naive really when you think back, because obviously we've been in the firing line for so long. But when you've got so many things going on at once and then that happens, you're like, oh God, that's just something else we've got to deal with. Yeah, there have been some challenges, haven't there?
Oh yes, we've had many a discussion.
We've had many a discussion
over the last 12 months, but we got through it. So
what the hell is 2025 going to bring us? Who knows?
New challenges. Hopefully helping people in their horses and not having to deal with people that are less than honourable.
Yeah, and that, yeah. Anyway, let's not go into that. We don't want to dwell on that. Dawn says, I saw a post on another page about how you should trim the frogs to improve them! ! Exclamation mark. Yeah. The thing is, the frog is it's in layers, just like every other part of the foot. And if you take too much off, and frankly, if you get used to doing it, you do it on every single frog you come across, because you just do it. It's just shape it into, let's cut it down, let's shape it into a lovely triangle. You don't need to do that, because the horse can do it quite happily on its own. And many times domesticated horses have got very poorly sick frogs. You can't trim something to make it better. You have never been able to trim the hoof out of laminitis or by chopping its toes, etc. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about. And so consequently, what people do is they just screw up the foot even more. You can't chase pathology. you have to set the foot up to heal itself correctly and then get out of its way. Don't be too invasive. People are saying, well done, Catherine. Thanks, Dawn. Celia's here. Happy New Year, Celia. Good to see you. Lynn's here. Hello.
Hi,
Jenny
Lynn.
Ackerstrom's here. Hi, all.
Hi,
Jeanette
Jenny.
says, a post from another barefoot page popped up uninvited on my Facebook feed. The person questioned the 1 centimetre measurement between the apex of the frog and the that have having bisected 2 hooves. Yeah, you see, the thing is, when you pick up a horse's foot, trying to find the exact point where the frog begins, you rarely see that. You rarely see that because everything projects itself forward. And when we talk about P3 being a centimetre in front of the apex of the frog, it's the apex of the frog that you can see. If you tore the sole off and you saw where the actual frog lives, which is in the actual part of the corium, the frog stay we call it, and the distance between that to the tip of P3, that's a lot longer. But then you put the outer shell on it, and that outer shell grows around about a centimetre in front of that, on average, depending on where that frog is roughly where the tip of P3 is going to be. If you want to cut up horses' feet and desiccate them and measure them precisely, there are constants, and the horse is constant. It is fairly constant. But when you're looking at a foot where you have not carved the frog all the way back to the exact point where it begins, you just got an ordinary foot. Looking at around about a centimetre in front of the frog is where you want to be. And we have done it over and over and over again, haven't we, Gary? I cannot tell you how many times we have notched horses' feet with owners. I mean,
well, we've talked about how many legs that we get through generally in a year, and it's approaching over 1,000. Not all of them are chopped up, admittedly, but we've been doing this for a lot of years.
Compare
We've
that.
never seen one yet without.
Compare that
Not seen one yet without.
Compare that to somebody who never does that sort of thing, or has just got a few desiccated specimens in their freezer. There's a massive difference between people who have been doing this for years, going into, like Gary said, thousands of living hooves. Gary and I have touched thousands of hooves, not just 6 or 7 every 6 weeks, 6 or 7 horses every 6 weeks. We do thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. That's where we have grown with our experience. And then we've cut many of them up. And the trouble is that the world is obsessed with getting gotchas. And you know, you just got to, I am constantly amazed how we are held to a certain standard. Everybody holds us to. And Bethan at Galsworth as well, where we've got to provide clear data, clear x-rays, clear photographs, clear explanations, which we do. But that's not good enough. Yeah,
nobody else is.
On the flip side of that, nobody else does that.
Nobody.
Not a soul. Don't see it anywhere. Show us your rehabs. Create your own group like the Phoenix group, and let's see them. Let's see all the changes. So, you know, it is what it is. People will get drawn in, and it is, yeah, it's been an amazing. That has been an interesting journey for us. Watching people who have conflicts of interest as well, who are not neutral because they are being paid by people to promote them, who
paid
are
sponsors,
who are directly opposing what we do, and so have got to be seen to be supporting their sponsors for money. It's don't do this sort of stuff. Don't go on and be exposed and have people come and ask them questions every 5 minutes about any. You don't know what we don't know what you're going to ask us. It's amazing how so many people can be drawn into that kind of personality. I want to know. I want to see the proof. I don't want to see the odd foot cut up and talked about, and I want to see the rehabs. I want to see the x-rays. I want to see the pictures of the feet, like we do all the time. I want to see all of that. If that was me as an owner and I was learning from somebody, that's what I would want to see. And if it's not very forthcoming, then I'd be asking questions. Why? Is all I have to say to that. Meta, evening all. Jeanette, just don't get yourself drawn in. Everyone then jumped in saying that it was impossible for this to be constant, comparing shies to minute. I didn't join in. Well, why don't they all just go out and measure the horse's feet then?
Go out and have a look.
Because the difference between the apex of the frog and on a healthy foot, the apex that you can see, and the outer hoof wall, or even to the edge of the sole, you go measure that on a mini. You could be quite accurate and measure it, and then pop off and find the biggest horse you can find and measure it from then, and see if you can see a massive difference.
There is a difference, but it ain't massive. It ain't massive.
It's not what you think.
It's not what you think. And we show that in our 3-day workshop and on our challenges. All you got to do is look at the size of the pedal bone.
We take
put them together. Yeah.
We take little baby pedal bones, and we take big pedal bones, and we put them like this, like that, with each other. And people expect them to be hugely different. Like, you know, the big ones are really, really big. Oh, I think Gary's gone off to get some stuff. They aren't. They just aren't that different.
So we do that. And they aren't that different. Obviously, this is off of a very similar horse. It's not exactly the same horse, but they're very similar size. But when you've got mini, they aren't that different.
They are different.
They are different, but they're not that different. Yes.
Because the height,
it's not that much.
No, it's the width that's the main thing that changes. When horses get bigger, their feet get wider. The vertical height, the difference in changing of the vertical height, doesn't change that much. But you'd only kind of know that if you'd done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of horses. Like I said, don't get yourself drawn in. I don't know where Squire would be if I didn't find you. I went in all feet first, total trust, and look at him now. I know. It's amazing. You did so well.
I haven't told you. Sarah Lou's cadaver trim on this module was awesome. Awesome.
Oh, I might have to go and have a look.
You need to watch it.
I will. Fiona Francis says, I also saw that, Jeanette. I also didn't engage. The discussion felt very staged and off, critical of our method without coming out and saying anything substantial. And remember, this is not coming from a neutral position. It needs to be made very clear. This is coming from a position of inexperience, a huge amount of inexperience in terms of horses' feet. And when you have people who you are being paid to advertise, who are directly opposing us, so you've got to be careful. You take that sort of thing with a pinch of salt. And we're just not engaging with all that kind of stuff anymore. It's a waste of our time and a waste of our energy. do you know what? If people like that want to put in the amount of time and effort that we've put in doing workshops with hundreds and hundreds of people, notching hundreds and hundreds of feet, rehabbing thousands of feet, then let's get into a room and have a chat about it. Until then, I'm not going to waste my breath anymore on people like that. It's just not worth it.
There's no point. There's no point.
Is that the end of that?
It is.
I had the same impression. Woodstock has never had any issues with long toes. He has trotted and cantered, galloped just normally, no problems at all. No, and yet the world has told the world
that can't happen.
Telling each other that can't happen. That can't
Nobody
happen.
told Woodstock.
No, nobody.
And it doesn't matter how many videos you put up. They say it's not the same horse.
Yes.
Or let's see the feet, and you can put a picture up of the feet, and that's not good enough. And they say, "Oh my God, that horse can't be doing that on those feet." And you provide all the information, and it's, well, what do you believe? What you read in a textbook, or looked on a cadaver, or your lion eyes?
Exactly. You God believe me, or your lion eyes?
Get a grip.
Marianne Caffrey. Evening.
Hi, Marianne. Happy
Melanie.
New Year.
Just love this group so much. Honey wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So grateful. Currently still trying to get her toe wall on the ground. But oh my God, you have done so well, Melanie.
Well done.
And it's great watching these successes come through. I love it. I love it. 2025 will bring worldwide empowerment for owners and sexy hooves all over. Damn well will. Squire never had one issue with his long toe. Now he has little rock crunching hooves.
It's awesome.
It's obsessing over aesthetics.
It is.
But and yet not understanding that when you keep removing that toe wall and you're not following those horses' constants and you're allowing those heels to grow, that P3 inside is on the road to, it's really, really bad. Yeah. And equally the other way around, when they're leaving too much toe because they can't balance properly, and then you start going into an MPA. These are all hoof care issues. It's not a deformity in the horse. The horse hasn't suddenly just been deformed. It's
a deformity in the hoof care.
Yeah, it's the hoof care.
It's the hoof care. It's so important. It's so important. And yes, it's a bit of a challenge to actually get in there with the tools, but the concept of keeping that foot aligned and healthy is very simple.
Never have we ever had people who have been on our books getting worse. They either stay the same or they get better. The ones that stay the same are usually okay. The ones that get better are the ones that are rehabbing. They never get worse. That we never get into a situation where horses are just, through finding their own natural foot, somehow get worse than what they were before. It is just meddling human beings is what it is. It is meddling human beings is the problem. Putting their own slant on it, like we say, PPT. Ulrika says, who is going to trim into P3 anyway? Well, yeah. It's just gotchas. It's just about trying to debunk us, which is hilarious coming from people who have never done what we do, because nobody does what we do, right? We're the only people in the world who understand that you've got to leave it alone. The only people in the world. And we're proving it. I mean, it's a hell of a risk to start up a group to allow thousands of people to come into it and go, this is it. We're going to explain how it works. You've got to keep P3 happy and comfortable in there. So what you got to do? And leave the toe alone. It's a hell of a risk. Because if we were getting it wrong, you'd have found that out in month 1.
You would.
Week 1.
And you would have left. Do we see people leaving in droves of our lovely Phoenix warriors?
No, sadly,
We
we did
don't.
we did have to remove a lot of people that were part of a particular group, unfortunately. If you are viewing this on YouTube and you are not in the Phoenix group now, and you were, and you don't know what happened, PM us, because we were having so many of our wonderful members who had come into this safe space to put up their rehab journeys, and they were having them screenshotted, stolen, maliciously put on other groups, whipping up abuse and trying to get welfare organizations involved. It was horrible. And it was all coming from one particular group. And unfortunately, what we had to do was we had to cross-reference. And if there were people, because we didn't know who these people were, because it was anonymous, because we found out that certain people had multiple profiles, because that's what people do now on Facebook. They just create multiple profiles. And they were coming in and we didn't know who they were. So we had to remove a lot of people from this particular group. We're not going out there and saying you can't be part of that group. What we're doing is we're saying, if you want to be part of that group, then that's fine. But this is our group. And because we don't know who's doing that, unless you come to us privately and we have that conversation, we can't let that continue. So we had to be really hard-lined about that. And it was really tough, actually.
Yeah, it was very hard. But it's the right thing to do. This is a private group, and a bit like I said earlier, unscrupulous people can ruin it. And we take pride in the Phoenix Way being a safe space for all. And yes, if it was nothing to do with you, you're more than welcome to come back, message us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Dawn says you inspire an inspiration, Sarah. You are going to be an amazing pro. You certainly are. Well, can't wait to look at that cadaver trim. Best thing I've done in my lifetime was join the HM school to become a pro. It's changed me as a person. That's so good to hear. And you inspired me to go for pro too, Sarah. So excited. We are going to change the equine world. You are. Ooh, it's getting closer for you. It's getting closer for you, Fiona. In March, here it comes. Ooh, Fiona's going to start in March. And it still puzzles me, why aren't vet schools interested? Oh, God, because the people who are running the syllabus, which has been the same old syllabus that's been trotting along for a long time, years, decades, don't know this stuff. And don't want to know, because as far as they're concerned, barefoot people are just tree huggers anyway. And track systems, what are you talking about? I don't want to talk about that. It's ridiculous. That's impossible. Horses live in livery yards. And and the science papers tell us that P3 is rotating because long toes separating the lamina, DDFT pulling it through. These people don't trim horses' feet. And even the people that do trim horses' feet that are getting it wrong don't understand. So all we can do is keep proving it. We start here, we go to here, we start with a poorly horse that's got rotated P3. Some of them have, penetrated. We get to here, they rehab, they go on and they do fine. And we just have to keep repeating the process, until eventually they all go, after they've seen the 100th one, do you think there might be something in this? But even then, changing the syllabus is going to be very difficult, because you've still got people in the world, prominent scientists, who also are not hoof care professionals, who are telling the world incorrect information. And it's incorrect. And we prove it was DDFT pulling P3 the capsule and the toes tearing. Well, we've just proved to you that that's not what happened at all. Can you see that in this horse here? I didn't see that. No. And here's another one. And here's another one. Eventually, it will change. I tell you, as this group grows and more people like Melanie and Sarah and Catherine and so many more I couldn't mention, as they go through, there will be many more of them, of you rehabbing your horses and going, do you know something? It's not as difficult as you made it out to be. Number one, hoof care isn't difficult. It's difficult because it's physical, but it's not really that difficult if you've got a foot that's okay. It becomes difficult when you're trying to deal with feet that have been buggered up and screwed up. That's when it becomes difficult. But the Phoenix way, which is everything, diet management, if you get all of that right, hoof care is a breeze. It's a breeze. Ulrika says, I can't wait for Totem's toe to come down and really start to balance his feet. I told him, Merry Christmas, Mummy stops hurting you, and he already felt better in his feet. No kidding. Well done, Ulrika. Well done.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, well done. And isn't it amazing, Garry, how owners and some professionals that are in the group have just gone, no. After you've told me that, Lindsay, you're the only person in the world that's kind of said that, you and Garry, and I've worked it out, and I'm not ever doing that ever again. In fact, I've heard people say, because we feel the same too, it makes them feel sick, the thought of chopping off that toe. You do that, you will take that horse back another 3 months.
Yep.
It'll take that long for it to come down again. It's balance is so important. So well done, Ulrika. Keep going. Jeanette says, I have lessons at a local riding school on their horses. I don't know that. Fiona says it challenges everything they've learned, Anne, and that's uncomfortable. And until they are willing to open their minds and accept something new, they aren't interested. Oh, they'll run in the other direction, not interested. In fact, they will try and bring us down, not interested. And that's what certain people are doing. They're trying to bring us down, but it won't happen. It is impossible. It will never, ever happen. Hello, Jill. I love that avatar of you. Hello, darling. You're looking great in that avatar. Hope all's going well with the Frisian. Not heard anything about that. Keep me updated. I have lessons at a local riding school on their horses. They do their best with diet and management, but the hooves are the exclusive domain of the farrier. It's wrong. You've got to know this stuff. The hooves are the most important part of the horse. Well, no, they're not. The gut isn't so important, of course. But if you don't get the hooves right, it's all going to go to hell in a handbasket. And this is why there is so much. This is why hoof care has gone so wrong, because owners have not understood, and they've been allowed to get off scot-free and go waltzing on doing it to every horse here, there, and everywhere, because owners don't know. We're going to stop that. Owners need to know. Owners need to know. Anne says 20 plus years of successfully saving horses is still not enough. It will be one day. You watch. So I'm a professional engineer. We would never dream of assuming everything we know is static. I can't read that. Statistically, I think you are correct. Now, new info comes in, changes our understanding, and you adapt. It should be the same for any pro. They won't do it. They won't do it because it's a bizarre industry, Fiona. I've never come across an industry like this where they can never be wrong.
There's no lessons learned. There's no lessons learned.
No.
There's no investigation. There's no, why did this not work? What is the success rate? There's no data on any of that.
No data.
Within the veterinary world, particularly with regards to hoof care and what they advise. There is nothing with regards to that data. If that was in any other industry, oh my God, you've said it before. I'm glad these people aren't flying planes or building planes, because they'd be dropping out the sky left, right, and center. It's wrong. It doesn't even happen in human care. There are lessons learnt, Don't get me wrong; it's all there are faults everywhere, but in the equine world, and I wonder whether it's because they are classed as, not by us, farm animals, whether it's just you follow the textbook. You follow the textbook. If that doesn't work, that's it.
Yeah, but you can put them down.
You put them down.
That's
yeah,
your therapeutic option that you
that's
have,
the
isn't it?
therapeutic option, and we've seen that so many times within the last 12
Can't
months,
fix
haven't
it.
we?
Down they
Can't
go.
fix it. Down they go. Oh, send us your images and your X-rays. Yes, we can help you. And we're starting to see those people coming back and saying, "Do you know what? It worked, and here's the proof."
And here's the proof.
Where's everybody else's? Where's everybody else's proof?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
I do so hope it changes in your lifetime and you get the recognition you both deserve. This group is unique. Maybe. But I just going through all of these incredible, all of you, it will, we're going to be around for a long time yet. So we're going to make some big changes.
That we see on this group is one of the things that keep us going. It's not only the horrors that keep us going, it's the successes. It really is. Because then that makes all that work worthwhile. It really does.
Melanie says, any chance there is dates for 3-day workshop in USA, saving my vacation days and money because I must attend and learn more? They will come out soon, but I can tell you that in South Carolina, I don't know how many we're going to be able to do in reality because we are struggling to get legs, and we won't just turn up and trim living animals when we're teaching owners. It's just not what we do. It's not wise.
No.
You can't, you just don't do that. And you certainly can't do that en masse, which is what you need to do, which is what we need to do in order for us to come over. But the South Carolina workshop will be, I'm hoping it's a South Carolina one. It's either going to be South Carolina or maybe towards Maryland. We don't know. And that is going to be beginning of August, I think. But the dates will be coming out. So hold fire. Hello, Jill. Hello. Jeanette says, I sometimes feel bad riding them because the hoof care is so awful. Yeah. Yeah. Will there be workshops in France? No, probably not, because we can't get hold of legs. However, we are thinking of going over to Germany, and there will be a workshop in the UK. And Ulrika, what I would encourage you to do, we've got some people who are not far from us who live in France who are flying from Limoges, I think, to Manchester.
Yeah.
And I know I think Ulrika, you're in Brittany, aren't you? So they're going to Cheshire. So if you can get to Paris and fly to Manchester, the Goresworth workshop is the one that you need to go to. So just a little bit of traveling. I know it's a bit of a pain, but 4 days away, staying overnight in one of the hotels that's close by, Premier Inn or something like that. That it's worth doing that. It's worth making that journey. We often have people coming from different countries to come into where we're holding the workshops, because holding one in France is just, it's going to be really difficult. It's the legs that's the problem. Angela Moore, Ontario, Canada. Yes. Hoping
Angela,
if we can get the legs. I can get legs in Southern Alberta. Okay, then do it. Save them. We need a lot. That's the trouble. We need 60 odd legs. Hello, I finally made a live. I've trimmed 3 very laminitic ponies this week, all doing very well. Grace is one of our newly qualified pros. She qualified a few months ago. Well done, Grace. You keep it up, my lovely. You keep it up. Keep sharing those images as well. Garvin Ranch says, bruising versus historic inflammation. It's the same, effectively.
Yeah.
We call it bruising, or we call it historic inflammation, but it's what you see when you see the pink spots coming through the sole. We call them bruises, but when you actually see it, because the way that the sole grows, it's like when you bash your nail and you bash it and you get a blood spot, and then that grows down. It's a similar sort of thing with the horse. The bruising is coming from within where there is blood in the dermis, because obviously you're not going to get a blood spot in horn that has no blood supply. So the blood spot happens where the dermis is, and then it grows through. And many times when you're trimming, because sole comes off in like little plates, it comes off in like little round plates. That's how it's compacted down. And so many times you'll see a red spot coming through, particularly under very common places are in the heels, in the actual heel horn, down the sides of the frog, especially towards the apex of the frog, where you've had extra old bar material accreted forward and sole building up into these big lumps either side of the frog, and then in areas around the sole as well. And when you're trimming them, very often you don't see it initially, and you might pop off a bit of that, and underneath you see it's red, because that has been under pressure for so long. That bruising, it's caused inflammation, bleeding. What is a bruise? It is a bleed that then goes into the horn and then grows up till you see it. It's a warning sign, of course, that things aren't quite right. But many times when we're trimming and we're exfoliating sole, a plate will pop off and the red is in the plate, but underneath there's nothing there, which is cool to see. But when you see it continually in the same place all the time, that's telling you that there are problems going on in the foot. It's a very, when horses are having P3 put in the wrong position, and it's pushing down and causing all kinds of damage and pain and problems, and inflammation comes with that, you are going to see that reflected through the sole. If it is unpigmented, you're not going to see it if it's pigmented. And the trick is stopping it. So getting the foot into the right position, getting the balance right, making sure you don't have all that compaction in the foot, and getting the diet and the management right. Because if you have, you hear people say, oh, my horse had another laminitic episode. Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. Oh, I thought my horse was doing really well, and then it had another episode. Because during the cycle between the trim, where the horse may have just had P3 put into a better position, during that, where they're taking the toe off and leaving the heels, as this is going like this during the cycle, the horse gets to a certain point, it can't take it any longer, and and then people go, oh, it's all of a sudden. It's not. It's been building up. That's one thing that happens. And the other thing that happens is that they get into this position and they can just about cope, but they've got damage. And then they have a systemic inflammatory response to their diet or to something that has disrupted their gut. And then this all becomes inflamed, and it just makes matters worse. You know it yourself. If you have got, or you've maybe perhaps heard about it, even if you haven't got it, but if you've got arthritis in your joints and you get poorly, those particular areas are going to be the areas that your weakest spots in your body are going to be the areas that feel worse the most. It's exactly the same with horses. Unfortunately, we batter their feet. We batter them. We put them with P3 in the correct position for so damn long. They have such a lot of pain in their feet, and I don't know. I mean, they have not got a choice but to try and cope on these awful feet that they have to stand on all the time, because they don't go sitting down on a settee or a chair to relieve their feet. They have to either rest one or lie down. And lie down they will, particularly if it's front feet that are hurting. And then they have to get up again to move around to go and get food. It's an awful, horrible, and I feel for horses all over the world and ponies, because it's awful to have painful feet to walk on, and they're painful 9 times out of 10 because of what the hoof care professional's been doing to them, then you add on all the systemic inflammation that causes more problems. Well, I would say 10 times out of 10, they're painful because of that. And then you add on the systemic. It's awful. And yeah, so inflammation, historic inflammation, bruising, it's effectively the same thing. Seeing those red spots. I sent you a message, Lindsay. My cadaver supply said he could supply as well. Ooh.
Oh, this is sounding good. 2025 is looking decidedly rich.
Oh, okay.
Particularly when we come to America and Canada.
Yeah.
This is good news.
Ulrika, Jeanette says, Ulrika, maybe we can go together. There you go. See, because you're both in northern France. Absolutely. The more I found out about TPW, saw the results, watched lives and other educational videos, the more TPW made sense. I just couldn't stay with the other barefoot and trimming groups, so left them. You can't. They're going nowhere.
Thanks,
it's
Marianne.
not. They're not changing anything, are they? It's the same old crap that keeps going round and round and round and round. That's got to stop, and everybody's got to put the brakes on now and go. I know what you're doing. I know you're doing it wrong, and even though you think you're doing it right, I know you're doing it wrong. Angela says I'm on it. Yes. If you guys get on it, this group is all I need. Thank you. If you guys get on it and you get the legs, we're coming. I can tell you that 100%. Tammy Keller, Germany. Yeah, we are coming to Germany, by the way. Hopefully this year. We've got to get that fixed. Where in Germany?
I can't remember.
I can't remember, but we are going to Germany.
Is Timmy in earshot? He'd remember.
No, not really. He is there, but they're watching TV. Legs may be at Ellington AG Center, State of Tennessee, Nashville. Ooh, can you look into that for us, please? That would be great. Jeanette, I will look into it. A passport needed for going to the UK. If yes, it takes time for me to get one at the Belgian embassy. You will need one. Although Ramona got in on her, you will need a passport. On our ID card from Spain, but you will need a passport. But you've got until you can get one because you've got until June. That's when Goresworth is. Goresworth's in June, but you also need to book because it's almost sold out. I sent you a message. Oh, you've done that one. Yes, you will need a passport. We have now a few rehab horses in our herd. The long toes are remarkable, but all are fine. I explain very often all of this. Horse owners understand instantly how it works. Vets are more confused because that I don't want to believe it. I was given a name of source of legs. May I text you later? Yes, do it, people. Get in touch with each other. I'm sending you FB invitation so we can chat more about it. Wonderful. I opened a bale of my wrapped meadow hay a couple of days ago and it was amazing. It smells like summer. I've never mowed wrapped hay before. All I can say is yes. Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Right, we're going to go now because we've been on an hour and 8 minutes.
That was a very productive live, wasn't it? It was very productive. It's great to be back.
It's great to be back. It's great to be back. Karen said, oh, it's you. It's Karen. It's you. That's right. It's you. It's me where the 3-day workshop can be in Germany. I wrote with, yes, it is you. I'm sorry. No brains. No brains. Of course it's you.
I'm rubbish with names. I have to look at past messages. Who's this person? I've forgotten because we speak to so many people. Sorry, Karen.
Yes, it's Karen. We're going to Karen's. Right. Okay. That's it. We will see. Now, I do apologize, but we are going to only be doing 2 lives a week at the moment, aren't we, Garry? We've still got Challenge Club, but these big lives, 2 a week, my mini ones, every day. Keep me supported, guys, because we've got to do it. We are going to try.
Mini is a little word, but it needs to be in big letters. Your challenge.
Tim said. Pointless. You failed already. Call it MIDI challenge, not mini.
We can go from mini to MIDI. We can do that.
Mini to midi. All right, my lovelies, take care. We'll see you next Tuesday. You see me every day, but we'll see you, Gary and I will see you next Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.
Take care, my lovelies. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.